in there like you wouldn't believe, and the hole kept getting darker and darker and darker.
Bill Burke wasn't sure he'd ever see the light of day again.
It was cold, real cold.
He spent nearly 24 hours underground after falling roughly 16 feet down a sinkhole Monday afternoon while working a logging job just outside Montesano.
All at once, all the sticks, everything was holding me up, broke, and down I went.
The dirt is still packed under his fingernails tonight. He clawed away at the soil for hours.
And gathering as much loose soil as I could to get this mound. My first thought, I get that high enough, get that stick. There's a root up there, get the stick, wedge myself. I made a couple of steps in the wall with my knife so that maybe I could,
Experienced logger, he always carries a whistle. And he blew that whistle through the night. Fortunately, Bill's logging buddy, Jimmy Stennett, a former firefighter, had agreed to help him on the job the next morning.
I'm waiting, and his wife calls me at 6:17. And she says, "Have you seen Bill?" I says, "No." And, well, she says, "He never called last night."
Jimmy started searching the woods.
I finally found it. And I drove down there, and I see his truck. I don't see anybody in the cab. And the machine is parked behind it. I get out fearing the worst.
Jimmy says he drove back to an area with cell service, then called 911, then went back to search for Bill, who had cleverly tossed a clue above ground.
And over to my left, I seen his hard hat under some ferns. So I walked over, reached down and picked it up. And when I picked it up, there's a hole about this big on the other side. And I looked down, I seen a movement, and I said, "Bill." And he looked up and says, "Jimmy."
Rescue crews arrived on the scene, and finally, Bill emerged from that sinkhole.
I had a sneaking hunch that if anybody was going to figure this out, if Jimmy made it down there, he'd be the one.
All thanks to a friend who saw him through the dark.
You don't turn your back. If somebody's in distress, you try to help.
I guess you take coming home every night for granted.
In Pierce County, Jamie